What if suddenly a new planet came out of nowhere in our solar system? A gigantic, mysterious world appearing without warning, challenging everything we know about space and gravity. Imagine waking up tomorrow and seeing headlines saying, "Astronomers detect an unknown planet near Earth." What would this mean to humanity? Was it a cosmic miracle, an imminent disaster, or perhaps a secret hidden from the universe finally revealed? We know that space is infinite, full of inexplicable phenomena and mysteries that challenge even the brightest minds. But the idea of a planet simply comes out of nowhere seems impossible, isn't it? Or isn't it? The universe is a chaotic, unpredictable place, and new discoveries come all the time. And if something colossal was approaching us right now, and no one had noticed yet, now think about it. If this new planet were bigger than Earth, what would be the consequences? It could destabilize the orbits of the other planets, change the severity of the solar system, and even influence our own climate. On the other hand, what if it were a habitable planet, a new home to humanity? Would we face an unprecedented opportunity to explore an unknown world, expand civilization, and conquer space? Or would he bring something we should never find? The question that does not want to silence is, this has happened before. Are there planets hidden, wandering through the cosmos, waiting for the right time to cross our path? Some astronomers believe in the existence of the mysterious Planet 9, a heavenly body that could be lurking in the ends of the solar system. But what if, this time, it was something even more impactful? A planet that arises out of nowhere, like a mistake in the matrix of the universe. And now I ask you, do you think we are prepared for an event of this magnitude? What would happen to our civilization if we had to deal with this new reality? Is it the beginning of a new era of exploration or a challenge that would endanger Earth? If you were curious, keep watching, because in the next few minutes we will explore how a new planet could appear, where it would be, and what would be the consequences for Earth. But before we dive into this mystery, I want to know your opinion. If a new planet came out of nowhere, do you think it would be a threat or an opportunity for humanity? Comment down here. Your answer is very important, because the more we debate these ideas, the more we discover the secrets of the cosmos together. And since we are talking about mysteries of the universe, don't forget to leave the like in this video. This helps the algorithm to understand that this content is relevant and makes more people embark on this space journey with us. If you are new here, you are already subscribed to the channel and activate the bell, because every week we bring fascinating content about space, exoplanets, black holes, and all that is most amazing in the universe. Now, going back to our puzzle, how could a planet simply appear in the solar system? There are some surprising hypotheses, and one of them can completely change the way we understand the space. But how can a planet simply appear out of nowhere? It seems impossible, isn't it? Science tells us that planetary formation takes millions or even billions of years, so the idea of a planet suddenly emerging sounds like pure science fiction. But what if I tell you that there are hypotheses that make it at least plausible? Yes, there are astronomical theories that could explain the emergence of a new planet in our solar system completely unexpectedly. The first possibility is that of a wandering planet. The space is full of planets wandering through the cosmos without a star to orbiting. These lone worlds are expelled from their home systems through extreme gravitational interactions and wander the universe aimlessly. Now imagine that one of these wandering planets, after traveling for millions of years through interstellar emptiness, was finally captured by the gravity of our sun. Suddenly, this planet would become part of our solar system, as if it had emerged out of nowhere. And if that happened, what would be the consequences? Could he collide with another planet, modify the orbit of the Earth, or maybe bring something unknown to our space? Another intriguing hypothesis is that the planet has always been here, but we never detected it. It may seem absurd, but there are regions of space that we have not yet been able to explore. Our solar system is immense, and there are parts of it that remain a true mystery. The so-called Planet 9, for example, is a theory that suggests the existence of a giant planet hidden in the ends of the solar system, besides the orbit of Neptune. This supposed planet would be so distant and it laughed such a long orbit that we could not have been able to observe it directly. What if, in any way, he came out of this hidden orbit and became visible from the Earth? It would be a shock for the entire scientific community. But what if it wasn't just Planet 9? What if there was something even more mysterious out there, waiting for the right moment to be discovered? And there is more. There is also the possibility of a newly formed planet within the solar system itself. But how would this be possible? To understand this idea, we need to talk about the creation of the planets. At the beginning of our system, billions of years ago, gigantic clouds of dust and gas collapsed under its own gravity, forming the sun and the planets. But this process may not have ended completely. There are regions of the solar system, such as the Kuiper Belt and the Oort cloud, where there is still a huge amount of cosmic material, fragments of old planetary formations that have never been consolidated on a planet itself. What if, for some reason, gravitational forces began to attract these fragments to a single point, forming a new world before our eyes? But calm down, the scariest theory is yet to come. What if this new planet wasn't just a piece of rock and ice wandering through space? What if it was something totally different? Some theories suggest that space may contain invisible massive objects, such as primordial black holes, which could be confused with planets if they were orbiting the sun. What if one of these objects suddenly appeared, affecting everything around it? This would completely change our understanding of the solar system. Now imagine that a planet came out of nowhere and was indeed habitable. A new world with an atmosphere similar to that of the Earth, oceans, perhaps even forests. This would completely change the fate of humanity. Governments would be running to claim this new planet. Astronomers would enter a frantic race to study it. And we, as a species, would have the chance to expand our civilization beyond the Earth. But, at the same time, this planet could bring unexpected dangers, unknown microorganisms, toxic atmospheres, or even natural phenomena we've never seen before. Would we really be prepared to explore a new planet, knowing that it could contain secrets that challenge our own existence? And now I want to know about you. Which of these hypotheses do you think most likely? A wandering planet from another system, a world that has always been hidden and only now detected, or the spontaneous formation of a new planet? Or is there any other explanation that no one has thought yet? Comment down here which of these theories seems more realistic to you, and if you have another idea, share it. Let's unravel this mystery of the cosmos together. Now imagine a new planet emerging out of nowhere in the solar system, a colossal, imposing celestial body exerting its own gravitational force and completely messing up the balance that keeps the planets into their orbits. That would change everything. But how exactly would that happen? Could this new world end in danger? Or would your arrival represent an unprecedented cosmic transformation? To understand the impacts of this phenomenon, we need to talk about gravity. In space, everything is connected gravitational. The sun keeps the planets trapped in its orbit. Jupiter influences the movement of various asteroids, and even the moon affects the tides of the Earth. Now imagine a planet the size of Neptune or Jupiter appearing suddenly. The first effect would be the alteration of the orbits of the neighboring planets. This new world would exert a gravitational force that would pull or push the planets around it, modifying their unpredictable trajectories. A slight displacement in the orbit of the Earth, for example, could mean drastic climate change. If our planet moved away from the sun a little more, we would enter a glacial era where oceans would begin to freeze and life would face extreme challenges. On the other hand, if we approach the sun temperatures would rise to unbearable levels, making the Earth a true hell, similar to Venus. But the impact would not be only on Earth. The asteroid belt, located between Mars and Jupiter, would also be affected. This region contains thousands of rocky fragments that orbit the Sun in a delicate balance. The introduction of a new planet could completely destabilize this area, throwing asteroids into chaotic directions. Some could be pulled into the solar system, dramatically increasing the chance of collisions with Earth and other planets. We are talking about a real risk of catastrophic impacts, such as the one who is believed to be dinosaurs 66 million years ago. A single large asteroid could cause destruction in and global scala, generating massive fires, gigantic tsunamis, and blocking sunlight for years, plunging the planet into a cold and deadly darkness. And don't stop there. Another side effect of the arrival of this mysterious planet would be the increase in meteor activity. A solar system that's stable for billions of years would be suddenly placed in imbalance, with comets and space rocks being diverted from their original trajectories. Some of these rocks could clash with moons, planets, and even our own world. Have you ever imagined an event similar to that of Tunguska, which devastated a vast region of Siberia in 1908, happening in a large modern city? The scale of destruction would be unimaginable. Now, if this planet were bigger than Jupiter, the consequences could be even more extreme. Jupiter, for those who do not know, is a true protective shield for the Earth. Its immense gravity attracts asteroids and comets that could otherwise collide with our planet. If a new planet arose and had an even more powerful gravitational field, it could completely alter this dynamic, causing Jupiter himself to change his position. The result? A domino effect of cosmic proportions. What if this new planet were a gaseous giant like Saturn, but had even higher rings? Or what if it were a superstar, a larger and denser rock planet than ours? Each type of planet would have a different impact on the gravitational balance of the solar system. What if the new planet came close to Neptune? This would be an intriguing possibility. Neptune is in the region farther from the solar system and already influences the orbit of many objects in the so-called Oort cloud, where millions of comets are believed to reside. If a new planet came up there, it could cause gravitational disturbances so intense that it would throw these comets into the solar system, potentially creating a storm of cosmic impacts. Now think of something even more frightening. What if this planet were a black hole disguised as a planet? Yes, this may seem like a concept of science fiction, but there are theories suggesting that primordial black holes, formed shortly after Big Bang, could be wandering through space and could eventually be captured by solar systems. If this were the case, a black hole the size of a planet would have devastating effects. He would not only destabilize the orbits of the neighboring planets, but would also begin to devour matter around him, growing more and more. This would mean a true gravitational collapse in the solar system, with planets being sucked into this invisible abyss. But let's consider a more optimistic scenario. What if this new planet didn't represent a danger, but an opportunity? If it were a planet similar to Earth, with an atmosphere rich in oxygen, deep oceans, and pleasant temperatures. The emergence of such a world would completely change the future of humanity. Governments and space agencies would start a frantic race to explore this new home, sending probes, manned, and eventually colonizers. It would be the greatest revolution in the history of our species. But this discovery would also raise many questions. If this planet suddenly appeared, what else can be hidden in the cosmos? Are there other planets that we haven't detected yet? What if this new world already housed life forms? Would we be ready to make contact with unknown beings? The truth is that the gravitational impact of a new planet would be gigantic, but the implications go far beyond physics. This would change our perception of the universe, our own place in the cosmos, and even the future of humanity. And now I want to know about you. How do you think a new planet would affect the solar system? Would he be a disaster or an opportunity? Comment down here and also tell me which of these possibilities scared you. If a new planet really appeared out of nowhere, what would you do? Would this new planet be a threat to Earth, or could it be an incredible opportunity for humanity? This is the big question. If a planet suddenly emerged in our solar system, we would be facing two completely opposite scenarios. One would be catastrophic, with devastating consequences for Earth and all the planets around us. The other could be the biggest advance in human history, a unique chance of expanding our civilization beyond our homeland. But which of these destinations would be ours? In the worst case, the arrival of this planet would bring such a large imbalance to the solar system that it would put Earth in immediate danger. As we have already argued, the presence of a new massive mass would change the gravitational field of the entire system. If he were large enough, he could pull the Earth slightly from its orbit, which would be enough to generate an unprecedented climate disaster. We are talking about drastic changes in global temperature, unregulated seasons, colossal storms, tsunamis that would cover entire cities, and a level of instability that would make life on Earth much more difficult. Imagine, for a moment, if our orbit were changed only a few million kilometers to the closer or further from the Sun. If we were pushed further, we would dive into a new ice era, where vast regions of the planet would be uninhabitable. If we were pulled to closer, temperatures would increase to extreme levels, evaporating oceans and making the Earth a scorching desert. Not to mention the impact this would have on the sea currents and atmospheric standards, resulting in violent and unpredictable weather events. Another great danger would be the gravitational effect of this planet on asteroids and comets that roam our solar system. As we mentioned, there is an asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, and also the Oort cloud, a gigantic reserve of comets on the edge of the system. The arrival of this new planet could create a true cosmic storm, casting asteroids into the internal system. And the Earth, as we know, has been the target of catastrophic impacts in the past. It was an asteroid who ended the dinosaurs, and we wouldn't need something much bigger than that to end civilization as we know it. Worse yet, if this planet had an unstable orbit, he himself could collide with one of the existing planets. What if it was with the Earth? An impact of this magnitude would simply vaporize life on the planet, leaving nothing but a world in flames and rubble floating through space. But what if this planet was different? What if, instead of being an agent of chaos and destruction, he brought a new hope to humanity? Suppose this planet was in the habitable zone of the solar system, that is, in a region where temperatures allow the existence of liquid water. If it had an atmosphere similar to that of the Earth, with oxygen and elements necessary for life, it would completely change our destiny. We could be facing a new home to humanity. Imagine the impact of this on science, spatial exploitation, and even our own existence. We would no longer have to look at Mars as a distant and hostile destination, but to a completely new world, ready to explore. If this planet had oceans, forests, and its own ecosystem, would an even more intriguing question arise. Would it already shelter life? And if we found extraterrestrial creatures living in this world, how would we react? It would be an unimaginable shock, a proof that we were never alone in the universe. But this discovery would also come with its risks. Any form of alien life can carry unknown viruses and bacteria to us, representing a biological danger to humans. Also, we do not know how our presence would react. Would we be invading the territory of another civilization without even realizing it? And there is more. If this planet were really a habitable world, governments and space agencies around the world would enter a real race to claim it. Who would have the right to him? Was it a free exploration territory or a new source of conflict between nations? The history of humanity shows us that whenever a new territory is discovered, disputes arise, and in space, that would be no different. There would be a huge geopolitical dispute with nations trying to colonize and explore this new world before the others. Private companies would also be involved, seeking opportunities for spatial mining and technological development. Another issue we would need to face would be how to get there. Even if this planet was relatively close to Earth, our current technology is still extremely limited when it comes to space travel. We would take decades or centuries to develop spacecraft capable of transporting human colonies to a new world. But perhaps this discovery was exactly the impulse that humanity needed to accelerate this process. Massive investments in new technologies, development of advanced propulsion, and even the creation of orbital space cities could come true much before we imagined. Now think about the possibility that this planet has a different severity from ours. If it were a little larger than the Earth and had a stronger severity, humans who went there would need to adapt to an environment where their bodies would be heavier, their muscles and bones would require a greater effort to move, and even simple activities such as walking or running would be extremely difficult. On the other hand, if I had a weaker gravity, settlers could experience a similar effect to what we see on the moon, where people make huge jumps and move completely differently. What if this planet were a gaseous giant, like Jupiter? In this case, there would be no solid surface to land, and any attempt to exploit would be impossible without extremely advanced technology. But he could have moons around him, some of them perhaps even habitable. If this were the case, we could be facing something even more fascinating than a habitable planet. An entire system of potential exploration worlds, opening a gigantic range of possibilities for humanity. The truth is that the arrival of a new planet in the solar system would not be just an astronomical event. It would be something that would change everything we know about space and redefine the course of human history forever. But what do you think? Would this planet be a deadly danger or an amazing opportunity? Comment down here if you believe that the arrival of a new world would bring more benefits or more destruction. And if you could name this mysterious planet, what would it be? I want to see your answers in the comments. If a new planet were detected, how would NASA and astronomers react? The discovery of an unknown celestial body within our solar system would cause a true frenzy in the scientific community. Just imagine a colossal object arising from nothing, challenging the laws of astronomy and placing in check everything we believed to know about planetary formation. The first reaction, no doubt, would be shock and unbelief. How could such a big planet go unnoticed for so long? Would it have spontaneously emerged from an unknown cosmic phenomenon? Or have you always been there, hidden in an unexplored region of space? These questions would require immediate answers, and the world's leading space agencies would take action to unravel this mystery. NASA, along with other institutions such as the European Space Agency, ESA, Roscosmos and CNSA of China, would probably mobilize its greatest minds to determine the orbit of this new planet. This is because, first of all, we would need to understand if it represents a threat to Earth. For this, astronomers would use supercomputers to simulate thousands of possible scenarios, analyzing how the presence of this planet could alter the orbits of the celestial bodies around them. If it were detected that this new world was on an unstable trajectory that could put it on a collision route with other planets or even Earth, emergency protocols would immediately be called to develop mitigation strategies, something similar to what we already do for potentially dangerous asteroids. But suppose this planet was in a stable orbit, without representing an immediate threat. The next step would be to determine what it is done. Was it a gaseous planet, like Jupiter and Saturn, or a rocky planet, like Earth and Mars? For this, telescopes like James Webb and Hubble would take action, pointing to their sensors to try to analyze the chemical composition of this mysterious world. Scientists would seek traces of elements such as oxygen, methane, water vapor, and carbon dioxide, signs that could indicate if this planet has an atmosphere and could possibly be habitable. This stage of the investigation would be crucial in defining the future of exploiting this planet, because if there were any indication of life, favorable conditions, interest in it would increase exponentially. With information about the planet's orbit and composition in hand, the next questions would be, does he have moons? How is your magnetic field? Does it have any geological activity? Depending on the answers, new hypotheses would arise. If the planet had a strong magnetic field, it could be protected against cosmic radiation, increasing its chances of sheltering life forms. If it had active volcanoes, it would indicate that it has a geologically active core, possibly generating internal heat, something essential to maintaining liquid underground oceans, as it is believed to happen in Jupiter and Saturn moons. What if there were clear signs that this planet could be a home for future human missions? In this case, NASA and other agencies would quickly start planning missions to explore it. Sending probes would be the first step. Missions similar to Voyager or New Horizons would be released to make an initial fleeting and collect data. These probes would carry high-resolution cameras, spectrometers for chemical analysis, and sensors to measure gravitational and magnetic fields. The idea would be to completely map the planet before sending something to land on its surface. But what if he was too far away? If you were in a region of the solar system besides Neptune as the hypothetical planet 9, a trip there could take decades. So advanced propulsion technologies such as solar, ion, and candle engines would be considered to accelerate the mission. Now think of an even more impressive scenario. What if this planet had signs of strange structures? If something on its surface indicated the presence of some form of civilization, past or present. Humanity has come across space mysteries before, such as the famous radio signs coming from deep space. And if something like this were found in this new planet, the commotion would be global. Scientists would analyze any data that could suggest artificial activity. Radio stations like SETI, who seek signs of extraterrestrial intelligence, would redouble their efforts to capture any frequency from this region. The impact of such a discovery would be overwhelming. After all, we would no longer be talking about a new planet anymore, but a possible first contact with a smart way of life. If this planet were rocky and were at a viable distance, the crew missions would begin to be planned. With current technology, the biggest challenge would be to develop spacecraft capable of safely transporting humans for long periods. But at the same time, the discovery of this planet would serve as the definitive impulse to move forward in the development of new space technologies. Imagine that a manned mission was organized to explore this new world. Who would be the first astronauts stepping on their surface? What would training be for such a risky trip? What would be the security protocols to avoid biological contamination from both Earth to the new planet and the planet to Earth? Another important issue would be who would have the right to explore this new world. Different countries could claim their possession, and perhaps there are even political and economic disputes on who would have the right to colonize it. After all, if this planet contains valuable resources such as rare metals or ice deposits, it would become a coveted target for space mining. Large corporations could get involved, and a new era of interplanetary exploration could begin. But what would happen if this planet was moving? Strangely, if your orbit were eccentric and did not make sense within the laws of heavenly mechanics, scientists would be extremely intrigued, as this could indicate that something unknown is influencing your movement. Is there another invisible massive body close to him? Does this planet have a gigantic moon that changes its gravitational behavior? Or are cosmic forces we still don't understand at stake? If any gravitational anomaly were detected, astronomers could be forced to reconsider some of the laws of physics as we know them today. The impact of this discovery would not be only scientific. Society as a whole would react intensely. The public would be obsessed with this new world. Thousands of conspiracy theories would emerge, debates about their origins would take over the media, and the fascination with space would reach an unprecedented level. Would this planet become a symbol of a new beginning or the foreshadowing of a great danger? And now I want to know your opinion. How? Do you think NASA and scientists would react if a new planet were discovered out of nowhere? What would you do if you woke up tomorrow and see in the newspaper headlines, "New planet found in the solar system"? Comment down here, what would be your reaction, and what would be the first question you would ask for astronomers? If you got here, my congratulations. You are part of the select group of cosmic explorers who really want to understand the mysteries of the universe. Now tell me in the comments, if this new planet really came up, do you think it would be a danger or a great opportunity for humanity? Comment down here, I'm ready to explore, for me to know that you stayed until the end. And since you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like to strengthen the channel and show YouTube that you want more videos like this. Subscribe now and activates the bell so as not to lose the next cosmic discoveries. And look, here is already appearing a video that will explode your mind. What if the Earth changed orbit? Click now and continue this journey by the unknown.